This is some serious content. Hi, my name is Helen. I'm a practicing teacher and I've been teaching the EPQ for 10 years. Although the EPQ values your autonomy, you might need a little bit of extra support, so I'm here to help. The landscape of education has changed, and it's changed because of generative artificial intelligence. In other words, software like chatbots. This is Botley. He's what I imagine a chatbot might look like. This is not a realistic portrayal of generative AI, just so you're aware. It's my 6-year-old daughter's robot. So what is generative AI and what has it got to do with the extended project qualification, or indeed any qualification that involves some kind of coursework, non-examined assessment? Chatbots like ChatGPT and Copilot, they generate content artificially by pulling everything from the internet. They can generate content in regards to copy, so text. They can generate images, they can generate music and sound. They can even generate moving image. So what's this got to do with your extended project? Well, we need to think about how we can adopt generative AI into our learning and into our project management so that it helps us rather than hinders us, or in some cases could cause us to intentionally or unintentionally plagiarize. We do not want that. Before you watch any more of this video, you need to make sure that I am still relevant. In other words, the content of this video is still accurate and up to date. You can do that by checking the website of the Joint Council of Qualifications, or JCQ. JCQ is a board that regulates exams and non-examined assessment like the EPQ. So they are the ones that form the rules on what is a legitimate use of artificial intelligence in exams and non-examined assessment like coursework, and what is considered malpractice. At the moment, JCQ give the following guidance. They say for EPQ students, you must ensure that everything that you submit is your own work. And anything that isn't your own work, whether it's from a secondary source or whether it's artificially generated using something like a chatbot, must be properly evidenced. So you must cite your sources and you must give proper references to show that you've used generative AI or you've used a secondary source. Essentially, you need to deal with them in a similar way. So JCQ do say that we can use generative AI in project work, but it has to be very clear what has been generated and how it's been generated. The second thing you need to think about are the rules regarding AI in your centre, so in your school or in your college. Some centres will have their own AI policy, so do speak to your centre coordinator about what the policy is in the school, because some centres, they have plagiarism checking software, so software that can check for generated content using a chatbot. Some centres won't have that software, so they might practice a policy of not using chatbots or any kind of generated AI at all. So you do need to check with your centre. So you've checked the JCQ website for what their current guidance is for non-examined assessment, particularly project qualifications and generative AI, and you've checked the policy at your school or college or wherever it is that you're sitting your extended project. So you know the rules now. The next thing to say is that there is no reason why you cannot complete your entire extended project without touching any form of generative AI. You can still get full marks. You can still get an A star. There is nothing to stop you from avoiding it completely. Now, the advantage of avoiding it completely is you really don't need to worry about making it absolutely clear to your examiner where you've used it and justifying why you've used it. You just don't need to worry about it. You know, everything that you've put in your project is your own work, your own words, and anything that's from a secondary source you will have cited in an accurate way. That might not be a realistic approach anymore. More and more employers are using generative AI and encouraging their staff to use generative AI. So arguably, why shouldn't a student start practicing using it? Well, this is where we need to pause and we need to think about your academic integrity. Your reputation as a student is fragile. And more importantly, you're in school or college and you're undertaking an EPQ, not just for the end result. You're doing it for the knowledge. You want to be an expert in that project topic and you want the skill set. So in order to do that, we need to think about our academic integrity. In other words, making sure that we're developing our skills and our work is our own and we're not taking shortcuts. We're not essentially cheating ourselves out of knowledge. Recognising our academic integrity is important because then it will mean that we can make better decisions when it comes to using generative AI in our work. We also need to think about the mark scheme and what skills you need to showcase in your project in order to access the highest bands and the highest marks. For example, if you get generative AI to write an evaluation of a source that you found and say, you cite it, you say that this is from a chatbot, you explain the prompts that you've used to generate it, and so it's properly cited. In other words, it's not plagiarism. You've cited that you've used a chatbot to do that analysis. The problem with that is that you then haven't shown the skill of analysis. So even though you have not plagiarized, you haven't showcased the skill that is required in order to meet the mark scheme criteria. And that's a shame. It's a shame because it means that you then won't be rewarded as highly because you've not shown that skill, even if you can actually do it. And secondly, you've not had that practice. And so you've missed out on that bit of learning. So think carefully about where to use generative AI helpfully and where it's not very sensible to use it because it removes your opportunities to showcase the skills that you need to show in order to do well and produce a good project. Okay, so now we're down to the nitty gritty, how to use generative AI or a chatbot well. There are a couple of ways to use chatbots within your extended project that I think are brilliant. The first is to use it to generate initial ideas. So using a chatbot, using prompts to unpack a topic, consider avenues that you haven't considered before, brainstorm around a topic area. That's a really good way of doing generative AI because it can introduce you to ideas that then you can go away and do some preliminary research on, and that might create a more interesting project title and a more interesting project content. So initial brainstorming is a really good way of using AI. The second way to use a chatbot or AI well is to ask it to summarize the content of some web pages or really dense online sources, secondary sources. What that does is it allows you to see the extent to which a source is useful or not before you spend maybe 2 or 3 hours reading it or understanding that source. So again, you would need to explain very carefully in your project that you did that, but then you can easily justify it because that's really good time management skills. If you get an AI chatbot to summarize in 10 sentences what this very dense 200-page long journal is about, you can then assess whether it's worth your time reading it and analyzing it for yourself. If you're collecting primary data, another really useful way to use a chatbot is in the presentation of your results. My word of warning here is to not allow a chatbot to actually analyse the data you've collected. You need to show that skill yourself. But for example, it could easily work out percentages for you if you've got quite a large data set that you're looking at, or you could ask it to generate some pie charts just so you can have a look at the kind of answers that you've got, and then you can more easily understand the data that you've got there and write some findings from it. Finally, when you're at the writing up stage of your project, so you're writing your report, again, you might want to use a chatbot to help organise your bibliography. Chatbots are great at writing accurate citations for a particular style of referencing. So if you're struggling a little bit with the nitty-gritty, the detail of referencing, it's a valid way to alphabetize your bibliography, for example, or make sure that a citation that you've had a go at is accurate. There are lots of websites out there to help you with citation, and I'll link a few for you. Finally, it's sometimes worth using a chatbot to come up with some subtitles when you finally come up to writing your report. Sometimes we can hit a bit of a brick wall when it comes to writing up a lot of research that you've been doing for weeks and weeks, if not months. And so asking a chatbot for some subtitles that would be useful for your literature review, for example, might help you to organise your work, organise your thoughts and your notes. So it can quite often kickstart a better approach to writing up your findings. Remember that every time you use a chatbot or any kind of generative AI, you must reference that you've done so, and you need to also include the prompts that you've given that AI software in order to generate the content. Really good candidates will also give an explanation as to why they've used generative AI, why it's a good thing, why it's helped their project. You might even have a section in your report that explains and justifies your use of generative AI. Generative AI is here to stay, and you will no doubt need to use it at some point in your adult life. So remember, use it ethically, maintain your academic integrity, and use it actively rather than passively. For more hints and tips on your EPQ, please hit subscribe and follow me.